I'm Gabi-Williams, coordinator and trustee of Sponsor a Child, creator of Gabi-Williams Scheme, and I'm also facilitating the workshop. We're a 10-year-old charity. We started in 2003, so I suppose that makes us almost 11. But we were registered on the 23rd of April 2004. So we're here to learn how to self-audit, audit our institutions, and write reports based on the audit, using the Good Home Guide, one of the 5 manuals making up the Good Home Quality Service Advocacy Scheme. Child-friendly is a phrase that's bandied around, and no one really knows what it means. What is a child-friendly institution?
It's our cultural and American effects for all.
We realize that, people are practicing without any word of policy, let alone compliance policy.
It's not all the time that we accept their decision.
That is a major issue.
Under discipline, number one, we don't speak children.
The most important place.
Not embrace.
We are please let me just listen to it. It's very simple.
When legal social worker, you should familiarize yourself with the Nigerian constitution, the child rights, and so for you to even to be an advocate for a child, you should know the rights of the child, your own rights, and then wherever you're advocating for. So that's just basically the whole thing.
The gap I identified between practice of childcare in institutions, mostly orphanages, and policy I discovered through our very first training with orphanage caregivers in Kaduna. We invited orphanage caregivers and also caregivers and educators in Al-Majri centers. These Al-Majri centers are run by the Millennium Hope Program, which was founded by Asma al-Makafi, Hajia Asma al-Makafi, the former First Lady of Kaduna State. So, we invited her staff and staff in orphanages across Kaduna and Kanu to attend an awareness workshop. And we discovered they knew nothing about child rights. They knew nothing about the policies or legislations that existed to regulate the care they provide in their various institutions. And we also discovered that they were very enthusiastic about learning about these policies and legislations. They were keen to professionalize. And that was the beginning. We, in partnership with the Democracy and Human Rights Fund of the Embassy of America, United States of America in Nigeria, which is probably managed financially by USAID, we were able to conduct more of these awareness workshops in different parts of the country. We went to South, Benin, we went to North Central, Jos, and Lagos. We came here and conducted exactly the same kind of workshop to discover the need, to identify how much need there was for the kind of intervention that we were planning. And so, yes, the Good Home Scheme was born to close the gap between policy and practice in Nigerian child institutions. Anything particularly you really liked about doing this exercise?
Really, I like everything because it gives me more understanding and what to implement in the home.
The Good Home Scheme is broken up into 4 elements. The first element is training. We put the rights into them first before we can start getting them to work with the rights. So training, and we had an 11-day training program. We just finished last week, Friday. That is on page 41 to 42. Turn to page 41 to 42 of your Good Home Guide. Rights-based childcare. This workshop introduced child rights, the Millennium Development Goals, and the Education for All goals. Both the MDGs and the EFA goals are rights-based goals. In session 2 of that workshop, we conducted a broad-based evaluation of the culture of our respective institutions and applied relevant rights. We also began the process of drafting a written child protection policy. Rights-based childcare, let me stress, overview. health, hygiene and safety. This workshop covered good practice in each of the title areas and went further to address the issue of personal hygiene and grooming for staff and children. We treated HIV/AIDS from the perspectives of prevention, management, and importantly, confidentiality. And we applied the rights to these title areas: health, hygiene, and safety. We also covered the three main areas of child abuse: child physical abuse, emotional, psychological abuse, and sexual abuse. This session, the child abuse session, justified more than any the development of written child protection policy statements for our institutions.
Our recruitment process references legal criteria for staff working with children with respect to appropriate qualifications and criminal record was partially in place.
And then training them in the processes of self-auditing, training them in the processes of report writing based on the self-audits, introducing them to the Good Home Early Years requirements. Those are the different aspects of operating an early years center in our country, Nigeria. Introducing them to the child-friendly criteria. What really defines child-friendly? What does a child-friendly institution look like? So all that was put into them during the 11-day training program.
If the institution is already fairly rights compliant, they're doing quite well already in some key areas, and they say to you that now you tell me about this thing, I realize it's important. We hadn't planned it, but it's something we will look into. You can give them a 1, because from the evidence, so many other things are in place. From the evidence, it's likely that they will start to plan it.
Although policy of involving children in the formulation of child protection policies are partially in place, but we are proud to say that proper measures are already in place to enhance their participation in this respect.
If a toy has been damaged, if a child still plays with it, the child may mistakenly fall down and injure his or herself, then we try not to put sharp instruments, expose them, try not to expose those things to children.
Candidates for employment are thoroughly assessed using appropriate interview procedure, reference checks, and guarantor letters in place.
So what's your status?
Of 5.
Try and use the phrases from the audit activity in place. Not in place of a plan, partially in place, not in place and not planned. Be strict. That way the reader knows immediately. You just reference the key input from the Good Home Guide.
From your report, that's true that you have to formulate all what is here is what you just read. Now he said you will acknowledge them, you have some jobs in the home which help them to foster their self-confidence and everything. You have to be like that. Now you have to give us examples of what is obtainable in that home, not just repeating to us that we have what makes them to have confidence, telling us the pattern of the community, how the pattern of the community. We also make mention that we go through the workshop, what kind of workshop, there's hygiene, what kind of, you have to tell us what's that. More or less, everything that is in this.
So 6 criteria. The culture is healthy, it is inclusive and gender sensitive, it is academically effective for all, it is protective of all, it is participatory, involving the participation of children, parents, guardians, and the community, and is endowed with a committed and effective leadership.
The second stage of the scheme is when the participants return to their institutions and they implement the requirements of the scheme. The first is that they develop a written child protection policy statement using the different templates that we provide.
Welcome to Roboto House, Home for Special Needs Children. We are at number 1 Stadium Road, GRA.
I'm Pastor Mike Obeire, and this is my wife, Sister Christine Obeire. And I'm a founder, and she's the proprietor of Citadel of Grace Mission Orphanage Home.
Welcome to Heritage Homes Orphanage in Antony, founded by Pastor Itwai Godalo of Trinity House. Heritage Homes is located in Antony, and we have our second home in Ikota, Aja, where we care for orphaned and other vulnerable children.
I have written the child protection policy and I've passed it to my boss, Mrs. Odetola, but we've not started implementing it because most of our children are in our institution. We don't want to impose the policy on them. We want to sit down together so that we know what the policy is all about.
Record of cooperation with government agency, e.g. local government, state government, inspectorate, availability of parental education program. That is partially in place.
Don't document in this way, which we have, but it's always very good to be learning day by day. So this is also a new idea, and let's just oppose and see if we are still okay.
Availability and use of caregivers manual. Regular training of teachers. We have the manual, we'll be using it.
What we have been doing, we are being in tune into best time practices. We looking at this template, we use adopt a child, sponsor a child template, we are also in tune, but we can still do better.
Type it on A3 paper, then we paste it in the sitting room for everybody to access it so that we know what it requires of every child and every staff in the school.
You know, we're training practitioners, hands-on caregivers. They're all coming from institutions, they're working with children on a day-by-day basis. So each time they come to one of our trainings, the institution is 1 or 2 staff short.
Actually, I was not able to attend because we are short staffed here, so I was not able to attend all the trainings as well.
So manpower shortages have been a challenge.
I said that the biggest issue confronting homes is funds. There's a poor funding. I said that when we move from cultural practice to child rights law, as seen in all communities of the world, and Nigerians also joining the Western world in upgrading homes, in upgrading practices of homes, streamlining it with child rights law operations all over. The biggest issue is that the transition brought a lot of stress on, because one, there's no funding as it's done in other communities of the world. They have invested many ways of taking care of children in the Western world, and they want us to go that way. But they have not invented the investment.
The challenges, I wouldn't say are too much. I'll just say a few of them. Many of these homes don't have social work inculcated in them. They don't even know what social work is all about. So, when you come to them and tell them social workers, they're supposed to be doing this and that, they feel that the system does not even have social work implemented in it. And they don't really know much of social work. But then working with them has been, I'll say, fun. It's been good because I didn't know much about self-audit. I didn't even know anything about self-audit. But this workshop training has given me a great insight as to how to self-audit agencies, if given the opportunity to actually work with them.
I hasten to say that the third representative from orphanages has been the child. We invited children to participate. We have 20 spaces on the course for 20 children.
Sponsor a Child is actually connecting with the orphanage where we're from, in helping out us like scholarship situations, like for education, not only education, for arts, music, dance, stuff like that. Then it has really improved my life because I'm actually an artist, like I do a lot of drawing, painting. And there was a time Sponsor a Child helped me into an art gallery.
It has helped me know more about my rights as a child, and it has taught me so many things about the kind of relationship I should keep with those that are older than me and those that are younger than me. I've learned a lot about personal hygiene, what to do and what not to do, and how to respect your rights.
Most impactful partner, I'd say, with respect to our education and recreation projects is Procter & Gamble West Africa. We worked with them between 2009 and 2011. We developed playgrounds and libraries in up to 8 institutions in different parts of the country, but we also reached 44 institutions with the distribution of hygiene products, water purification products. I mean, that was a massive project in terms of outreach to institutions that take care of vulnerable children. We have the French Embassy, the Social Development Fund, to thank.
The French government sponsors projects relating to human rights and other areas. We deemed it very worthy to sponsor a child, and Gabi-Williams, because her approach is very compelling and comprehensive in tackling the issues that the orphanages and other children institutions are faced with in Nigeria.
So yes, greatest thanks to the French Embassy. I also take the opportunity to thank Modukwe Omokpintemi, who mans the Human Rights Desk of the European Union in Abuja, and Carl Engelson, who is Youssef Makrouf's predecessor. They were very supportive of the program. The enthusiasm to acquire these skills, to know about the rights first of all, and to see how the rights can impact the delivery of care services in their institution. They were fascinated by the rights, and there was a lot of nodding, there was a lot of discussion and debate about the way they provide their care in their various institutions, and that was lovely to watch. Self-auditing skills, learning to look at their care through the lens of an auditor was very interesting. They loved it, and I loved watching them do it. Self-reporting, being able to write reports very competently, using the language of report writing, using the language of professional care provision. They loved doing it. I was amazed at how easy they found it to use templates, and that was gratifying for us because we've worked so hard. This is the result of a 5-year journey. Rollout, we're hoping for rollout across the country. We've targeted Lagos with this pilot project. We've targeted Lagos State, Ogun State, and Oyo State. But we weren't able to target them comprehensively. We only had space for 35 institutions. So there's still more institutions in these various states to target.
Working with them has been a great experience. We actually started the workshop sometime in July, and I think this is another session.
What I really take home from that training was that since this place is for special needs children, and I was told in the training that there is equity opportunity policy for special needs children, that no child with a disability should be neglected, and every special needs children, we have to assess their disability so that we will adopt the proper facility to become adopted in our own organization. Also, we should seek for doctors' reports. We should seek for training on special needs. We should seek for other things that will help the special needs children to move on in life so that they will not be neglected.
Sponsor a Child would like to see the provision of childcare in all child institutions in this country grounded in the rights of our children. Finish what we start and use the tools that enable you to do the work properly.
It's not a place now, then we'll plan for it.
Going into my first production, and all glory to the Robodo House for their support, Now, I'm into film production and I'm shooting my movie today and I'm so excited. And this is my first movie, my first production. So, and that is why everybody is here. You can see they're my crew. We're working together, we're going to location, everybody is dressed, just having fun.